Teams that force the Game 7, down 3-2 and force it, they win the title. They've won the last 3 times. Cavs did it in 2016. Heat did it, shout out UD, after the Ray Allen 3 in Game 6. And the Lakers did it in 2010 over the Celtics. Here was Tyrese Halliburton with his thoughts after a dominant Game 6 win.
Right now, for the next 2 days, everybody's going to be talking about how good we looked, how well we played, how much pressure's on OKC. You know, that's going to be the narrative. And we got to do a good job of staying away from that stuff. You know, I think that can be poison.
We got exactly what we deserved, what we earned, and we have to own that. It's one game for everything you ever dreamed of. If you win it, you get everything. If you lose it, you get nothing. It's that simple.
I don't want to overreact to what is a pretty simple phrase that he just gave there. If you win it, you get everything. If you lose, you get nothing. But it did strike me when I heard him say that in the midst of a week where ring culture has been part of the sports conversation, it was kind of an interesting way to frame it. UD, I mean, you've been a player who've been a part of this sort of thing. Is it absolute, I mean, ecstasy, obviously, and if you win, and utter failure for the team that loses on Sunday?
I think definitely. As a player, you have to create that mindset that, you know, like Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you last. I mean, you have to have that mindset that you're playing for a championship, and that's the only thing that matters. Now, in reality, when you look at the OKC team, that team was in a play-in situation a couple years ago. Last year, they lost in the the Western Conference semifinals, and this year they go to the finals. So there has been progression made with that team, but the mindset, what you want to create, the championship culture, you got to act like a champion before you're a champion. Is something that we like to say. I got that from Riles. That mindset you have to create allows you to tell yourself that that's a failure season. You got to get better, sit a couple days in the dark, think about it, and come back motivated next year.
I totally get it from the player's perspective. But, Neek, you were a player. But now that you step back and you can analyze it, and you've heard all this conversation throughout the week about ring culture, where there is a feeling that if championships are the only things that matter and anything short of that doesn't deserve any credit or praise. What are your thoughts, particularly as we head to a Game 7 here?
I mean, obviously, that's a little bit too extreme, and I think sometimes it feels as if that's the only thing that we measure, but it's actually not. And when we talk about the rings culture, Charles Barkley's name comes up a lot. No one thinks that Scottie Pippen was better than Charles Barkley, despite the fact that Pippen has so many more rings. Like, the other things matter about it, and I think the circumstance and the context matters, because I think in this situation, OKC, obviously, to me, they are statistically the best team in basketball history. So yeah, if they don't win against an underdog like the Pacers, yeah, it's a failure. But for the Pacers, like, they have already succeeded. I know it doesn't feel like that to them, but to make it as far as they've gotten, to force a Game 4 with their best player nursing a calf injury, like, once this season is over, we're going to look back on the Pacers. Maybe they don't feel that way. We're going to look back on the Pacers as having a pretty successful season. In OKC, if they don't win, yeah, it's a failure. You don't get these many opportunities and to be the best team in basketball. And I think it all matters depending on the team and the players and the context. I know Travis Kelce got into this conversation. If you live in the Super Bowl the way the Chiefs have, yeah. If you don't make it to the championship and win the championship, it feels as if you have not had a successful season. If you're a different team, like the Cowboys, let's say, making it to a conference championship game would be amazing for the Cowboys. We would throw a parade.
Keith, You've played in Game 7s. We talked about it this morning, Markieff. How different is it? How different will this game be for all of these players than any game they've ever played in their lives?
It'd be crazy, but first, man, don't disrespect my Cowboys like that, man. I ain't taking the Cowboys slander. Second,
you would be happy if they got to a conference championship.
It was something that you said about.
Go ahead,
It was
Keith.
something that you said about OKC and the accomplishments they have made this year, right? With having the record, having a historic defense. If you fall short of winning the championship with those type of standards, with those type of stats, with those type of accomplishment, it is not a successful year, right? Making it to this point and losing, making it to a Game 7 and losing is not a successful year. And I would like to say this about Indiana, because I feel like people are downplaying Indiana a little bit because they didn't see this, right? Indiana still was a team that made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Hollenberg missed 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? So for them, it's a down year also if they don't win because they were just there last year, just about to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. They had lost to a good team in Boston. So I know that coming into the season for them, their standards was really high. So it's a disappointing year for both teams if they lose, if you ask me.
It's a great point. As Windy has repeatedly pointed out, they had the second best record in the NBA starting on January 1st. Only OKC was better. The two best teams wound up in this series, and maybe appropriately, they wind up playing one game to decide it all. As we continue, we'll get Windy.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just wanted to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.